this stuff here. Okay? Cool. First thing I want to let you know, control panel here. So this is the upright position. This is medium, and this is all the way down. Okay? And it does swivel a little bit. So whatever works as far as just getting everything good for the customer, getting rid of the glare, that's the main thing. All right? We're going to go through these 4 buttons here, and then then I'm going to open the machine. Also going to review scanning to email, using a thumb drive, that kind of stuff. Then we're going to go over to those other machines. First button says color on the button. It's defaulted to black and white. So regardless whether I give the machine a black and white document or a color document, it's just going to use the black toner only, give me black and white or grayscale printouts. Okay? Second button is full color. Obviously, I give the machine a color document, color original, I'm going to get color copies. But a lot of people don't know this. In full color mode, if I give it a black and white document, it's going to use all 4 colors of toner just to make the black. Counts as a color copy. So anything in full color will be color copies. Fortunately, we have a third button, auto color. So if I put these 2 in the document feeder, the first one up on the glass is this black and white. It reads it and realizes there's no color. Automatically, it reverts back to black and white, prints it out as black and white or grayscale. The second one on the glass, it sees this. Obviously, there's a lot of color, so it automatically switches to full color and prints it out in color. And it charges the customers accordingly. Right? So black and white copies, you're going to charge your customer 10 cents. Color copies, you're going to charge your customer 40 cents. So the prices are going down. Right? There's also 2-color and single color. Usually I skip over that, but in most businesses, because these are more like special effects. But because you're a library, you're going to have some creative people coming in. They're going to want to play with the color on the machine. So I'll show you real quick. First button, 2-color. One of the colors has to be black, but the other color could be red or green or cyan, etc. A couple days ago I made a copy. I left it on red and black. So this is the original, and it printed this out like this. Everything black stayed black, everything white stays white, but anything that was a color is just now a shade of red. So that's what I mean, like special effect. Okay, the other one, single color. Let's go in here. We have 3 pages of colors. I want to go to page 2, and I chose pumpkin. And this is what I got like that. Okay. Also, we have, there we go, 2 types of sepia or sepia, depending on how you want to pronounce it, as if it were like an old-fashioned photo. So those are what the 2 types look like that. Kind of old-timey looking. Okay?
Do patrons pay the same as for color?
That's correct. Anytime you've got any color at all, it counts as a color.
Extra for these special.
No, nothing extra. It's just regular color. But anytime you have it all, it counts as a color copy.
Is there anything that would explain to the patron what sepia 1 and 2, what the difference would be?
The only thing you could see is you see this little color up here. See how that's changed? It's not very. It's kind of subtle, but unfortunately, that's about all you get. All right. So all of those things can be found in the first button called color. Second button, paper. This lets us know the paper that we have in the 4 drawers in front. It's telling us the size and the orientation of the paper. Notice that trays 1 and 2 both have 8.5 by 11 paper in there. Tray 1 has the paper in the tray this way, portrait mode. Okay. Tray 2 has the paper in it this way, sideways, landscape mode. And there's a reason for that. When you guys get your machines, I would like you to make sure that in tray 1, your 8.5 by 11 paper is always in this way. And there's a reason for that. In book copy mode and in one other mode that I can't think of right now. Don't worry. Well, you haven't missed that much, and I'll catch you up if you want to stick around for the beginning of the next class. In book copy mode, the machine always wants to pull paper from tray 1. And this is the perfect paper size and the perfect orientation for the book copy thing. If we use bigger paper or the paper is turned sideways, it presents all kinds of problems with book copy, so that's why we want to keep it that way. Also, tray 2 has the paper the other way, and the reason that is because this machine does not have a finishing unit. What I mean is there's no stapling, no hole punching. Many of our machines, too. If I wanted to offset my sets, meaning I put in 3 pages, and I tell the machine I want 4 sets of those 3 pages. Many of our machines, when I tell it to offset, It comes out page 1, 2, 3, and then the next set 1, 2, 3 with about an inch separation between them, and they alternate. Okay. This machine doesn't have that capability, but what it does do is this. The first set pulls from tray 1, it comes out like this. The second set pulls from tray 2, it comes out like this. So it does that crisscross.
Okay.
That's why we have the papers from tray 1 and 2 the way we do. Okay?
That's why they're the same.
Tray 3 has legal size, 8.5 by 14, okay? And tray 4 right now has 11 by 17 in here. They are telling me that that's correct. They're going to provide you with 8.5 by 11 and legal size 8.5 by 14, but they will not provide you with 11 by 17, same way they have it now. And I know a lot of people don't like that. People have expressed that to me in other classes. So I guess it's up to you or the patrons bring in their own large size, but I want you to know these trays are going to have, our machines are going to have 4 trays. Okay. So the bottom tray can be used for, well, any tray can be used for any size paper, but the ideal is do it the way you see it here. 8.5 by 11 in the top 2, legal size here, 11 by 17 down there. So I want you to know you're going to have a tray for the 11 by 17. All right? Okay. Very good. Okay. This little one over here with the hand icon is for the bypass tray. I think they use a little hand icon, meaning you put the paper in the bypass tray by hand. Okay? So let's talk about that. I bring this down. I want to put some paper in here. So typically I would take my paper and put it in this way, like this. Okay?
You mean if a patron brings in their own paper?
Yes,
something
they can do that.
Something they can bring, okay.
Yes, they can do it.
Okay.
Bypass tray would be good for color paper, overhead projector transparencies, letterhead, labels, thicker paper. Maybe you want to do reports with heavier front and back covers. A lot of different varieties. In schools, they would use this for, what's it called, construction paper for kids. So a lot of different things you could do. When I put my paper in there and I snug up the guides, 2 things happen. First, it reads the size and the orientation of the paper that I put in there. Okay. So it knows the size. But then this screen always comes up and it wants me to tell it what kind of paper. Here's why. Plain paper will go through the machine at normal speed. No problem there. We have an option of printing on overhead projector transparencies. Not that you would anymore, it's kind of old-fashioned technology, but you still could. But because those transparencies are clear plastic, there's a small danger they might melt the machine. So it moves them through the machine much quicker than it would otherwise, so they don't melt. And the opposite is true with thick paper. Thick 1, 2, 3, 4. The thicker the paper, the slower it goes through the machine, because it takes a while to heat that thick paper up to the right temperature so the toner melts correctly, otherwise you can just scratch it off. Okay? That's on page 1. We go to page 2. Also have options for letterhead and colored paper. All right? Lays down a little more toner than it would otherwise, so the image jumps off that colored paper background a little more. Or with letterhead, sometimes letterhead is a higher quality paper, maybe has a little thread count in it, real nice stuff. Fills it in with a little extra toner so that it completely fills it in. Envelopes. What I would suggest here, envelopes are problematic for most users. If you did it on a regular basis, you would get used to the steps you need to do. But I think you'll find that your patrons and you will be frustrated if they try to choose envelopes. Let me give you the 10-second overview. Let's say I've got my number 10 envelopes, right? I would put them in the bypass tray face down with the fold away from me. I close up my guides like that, and then I have to go into the machine and tell it the size of the envelope. Then we would either send a document from the computer to print or copy. Half the time the machine complains and it wants me to pull out the stack of envelopes and then put them back in, and then it goes, oh, now you're really serious about envelopes, aren't you? Okay, and then it starts to print them. Well, you can see that's quite a few number of steps for somebody who's not used to the machine. So my recommendation usually in corporations now is don't use the machine to print on envelopes. Even though it's going to do a fine job, if you're used to it, it's great. It's just getting used to it that takes a while. I recommend you can use plain paper and print on labels instead. Okay, labels is a good way, a good alternative to using envelopes. A lot less hassle. So if anybody's going to print on labels, just choose plain paper. Labels and letterhead go face down, because it prints on the underside of these pages. Okay? And it shows you a little icon right there showing you it prints on the underside. Okay? All right, so 8.5 by 11, usually I put it in this way. You could put your 8.5 by 11 in this way. There's no reason that you couldn't. I don't see why you would want to, but you could. Anything larger, we want to fold this out. This supports the larger paper and the little sharp fin sensors here tell the machine what size paper you put in there, and then it knows when it's dealing with it, all right?